I am the Queen of Zandalar, and a queen kneels to no one.
They should use their minds to save the world, instead of devising ways to tear it apart.
No. Not while the Black Moon still cries out for vengeance. Not until the Horde has answered for its treachery.
The war is serving its purpose. Stay focused on the endgame. You know what is to come.
The two essential weapons of an adventurer. A bottle of good gin and a jar of tasty jam. This is Girls Gone WoW!
Hello, you are listening to Girls Gone WoW, show 686, recorded on Sunday the 10th of May 2026. I am your host Raven, and with me I have my wonderful co-host EJ. How are you doing this week?
Hello. Yes, I'm tired. I'm tired. I'm alright, but I'm tired. We had a big day out yesterday.
We did.
And we both went to LFG London.
We did.
The community event created by the lovely Mr. GM, which was it was lovely to get out. It was a slightly strange venue.
Strange venue. Yeah, it was nice. It was lovely to see everyone. It was the venue was extremely weird. They had like a posh half, which had the most expensive burgers in the world, and then the actual event was in their like nightclub bit, which had the most idiosyncratic kind of toilet situation. I was just like, oh, it's like being at full tilt in the ballroom. The stair situation, the bench situation,
seating.
Yeah.
And I forget, so one of the things they do every time in LFG is they do some sort of like quiz. So they get two teams on, usually sort of content creators, and they do a quiz. And every time the chap who runs it brings back like some sort of quiz game from the 80s or 90s. So I walked in and I saw the screen and I'm like, oh, okay, they're doing like Warcraft blockbusters. I know what that is. However, then I looked at the age of the content creators on the stage and I'm like, none of them are going to know what this is. And no, none of them did know.
No.
So the first 20 minutes was trying to explain how blockbusters worked, while the rest of us who were old enough were like, can I have a pee, please, Bob? And thinking that was hilarious. I appreciate that I've now lost a vast, quite probably a big segment of people who are listening to this, but for anybody who is at our age in the UK, that's hilarious.
Yeah. Look up Blockbuster with Bob Holness on, it'll be on Wikipedia or something. It was an institution.
Nadriel knows.
Yeah, it was an institution. It was, but none of these people knew how to play it, so it was quite exciting. They also adopted the approach to answering questions, which is you just stick your hand up as quick as you possibly can, and then you try and work out if you know the answer to what the question was, which is a lot
of the time they didn't.
Yeah, a lot of the time they didn't. I particularly enjoyed who is the leader of the Worgen. And it was a G, obviously. G. So the first words that came out of this poor girl's mouth were Garrosh. No, Garrosh is not the leader of the Worgen. That would be Gen Greymane. Yes, different G. But it was pretty funny.
That's funny. I've just remembered, I know somebody who went on Blockbusters.
Do you?
Yes, I know somebody who went on Blockbusters.
Oh, well, there you go.
In fact, I saw, because then we were like, do you have the video? Which they did on VHS, so we watched said person on Blockbusters.
Wow.
So yeah, that was my blast from the past. But no, it was very nice to be able to see people.
Yes.
We did bow out a little bit early because obviously you don't live in London anymore, and I had terrible headache. But I was very pleased that we got out and about and we got to see lovely people. And it's really nice that it seems to be each year. It seems to be getting a little bit bigger, which is lovely.
Yes, it was a good day. We had a good time. But I was also quite glad to be home by about 8:30 because it's been a full-on kind of a week. So, yeah, it was a good time. Right, well, we've got a couple of interesting news items for you this week. The first of which is, I'm really sorry, but Blizzard have already started talking about 12.0.7. We're not ignoring it, but we just think it's, like, we're trying to pretend it doesn't exist because we think it's a little bit too soon. We're not ignoring it. We're just tactically pretending it doesn't exist. We will give you the TLDR before it's due to drop, which looks like it'll be the 16th or 17th of June. Fucking hell. So once an official announcement is made, we will get you all up to speed with everything you know before the patch actually drops. And it looks like there's some interesting stuff coming, but we're not gonna get too involved at the moment because there's enough going on.
An unexpected boon for RP players came with patch 12.0.5 in the R Cantina, where for the princely sum of 5 gold, you can ask bartender Bob to clear the tavern of all other players and NPCs, including any active quest givers or portals. So the only one who'll remain is yourself and Bob. Players in the same group or raid will also stay with you. So basically, the tavern can effectively become like a private meeting space,
like a private
for
house.
Play. Yeah. And then when you're done being private, you can either talk to Bob or you can just exit through the standard portal, and then the next time you come back, it'll be back to normal. So yeah, a little like unexpected bonus use. So that's going to be great. Like you could be able to hold, like, it's another place you could hold guild events, couldn't you? Like, and being able to hold a guild event in what feels like a bar would be lovely, wouldn't it?
Yeah, that would be good. One of the winning housing competitions yesterday at the LFG was somebody who'd made themselves the most amazing guild hall, which had a very beautiful bar area, and it also had like a lecture theatre that they'd made using like couch seats. So like somewhere that everybody could sit and listen to all the raid tech tacs, and it was really good. It was really good. I super enjoyed it. You only have until the 12th of May to purchase the Rufus pack, which is this year's charity pet, raising money for Habitat for Humanity. 100% the purchase price goes to charity. The pack includes Rufus the dog in both retail and classic. WoW, and retail players also get 4 customizable doghouse decors, 2 variants of a dog bed, and a water bowl. It's very cute, and I actually haven't got mine yet, so I need to go and do that. And he's a cute little dog, and he's got a little hard hat. Hard hat. He's very good. Right, well, let's move on to our topic of the week, and this week we're talking about delves. Tell us your thoughts on delves and how's it going with Valera. EJ, how do you feel like your relationship with Valera is going?
I mean, I'm very pleased that Blizzard took her into a room and said, "Now look, I know you're very enthusiastic. I love the enthusiasm you're bringing to the role. You need to just shut the fuck up a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Could you shut the fuck up?"
Yeah.
So yes, I mean, I have to say, halfway through my first delve with her, I was ready to murder her because of the voice line. So I'm very pleased that they jumped on that and sorted that out very quickly. I have to say, I find her there are things I like about her and there are things I don't. I like her big green puddle.
Yes.
I'm like, okay, I understand the green. It's a green, lovely puddle. I understand what that is. Thank you.
Yeah.
I like the fact that she throws the health things as hearts and
yes.
they're in the air, and they don't tend to get hidden under things or around the back of things or be dropped in like useless places.
She does often,
and they also change as they're about to wear out,
yeah.
which is nice.
She does often throw them in my face though, like very frequently. I'm like, okay, I didn't actually need that health right then, but I guess I got it. Thanks very much. Like, heart to the face. That is, you know, I think it's probably better than having it thrown under stairs, but it's not
I know
ideal.
that way, at least one, like, I get some sort of instant heal, and then there's 2 others that I might need, and I'm happy with that. She just confuses me.
Yeah.
Because
Her pathing is fucking wild.
Yeah, so you can use the ping system in game. If you use the ping system in game, she will target what you ping.
Okay.
Which is great, which is very useful. So if you're perhaps if there's like 2 packs and you're like, actually I'm doing this, it's worthwhile pinging the pack you're heading for, because if you don't, what she does is she fucks off and finds a different pack you hadn't even looked at. And Brad never did that.
No.
And she does this consistently. The amount of times she butt pulls or just pulls something I wasn't even looking at, and all of a sudden I've got 2 nemesis packs and an elite heading towards me, and I'm like, what happened there? I'm trying to run up the corridor going, no.
Yeah, I was literally in somewhere the other day. I had sat down to have a drink. So I was sitting down having a drink. And all of a sudden she comes around the corner with a nemesis pack. And I'm like, that isn't, I was having a drink. I was having a drink because I was having a drink. I was having a drink mostly because you weren't here healing me. Because apparently you'd run around the corner to go and find a fucking nemesis pack. Like, why did you do that? Yeah. So annoying.
Yeah, that has happened to me as well. And I'm like, I was out of combat. How am I now in combat? Like, and the other thing is sometimes you're doing things and you're like, where has she gone? And she's just, I know she's a rogue, but she's just vanished. And it takes forever for her to turn up and even throw me a health pot, let alone do anything else. And I'm like, what were you doing?
I think it's the Twilight Crypts is the one where she most frequently just literally, like, you're killing a pack of something and you're like, gosh, I could really use a healer right now. I thought I brought one with me. And then she'll come running round a corner, like, from in front of you. And you're like,
yes.
How did you go? Like, where did you go? What are you doing? How are you over there? Like, how did that happen? Why were you not behind me when I'm the person who's supposed to be in front? Like, I don't understand what's happening. Absolutely. And she's like, oh, I just nipped in to drop you some heals off. Like, oh, good. Okay, thanks. I also find it absolutely infuriating that she yells, now strike, just as something dies. No, we've done the striking. We did the striking.
I'm like, oh, yeah.
That's why the thing is dead.
Thanks.
That's, yeah. And yeah, no, Mobiz, I don't know who taught her to accidental pull, because obviously rogues don't ever do that, so she must have gone to a very bad rogue school. Never seen it.
So, yeah, like she certainly, like, there are things that have been improved upon with Bran, but I think overall I would probably still take Bran over Valera, if somebody asked me. So yeah, so that's Valera.
Yes, she is. She is a little idiosyncratic. It's like raiding with it's like you've taken a, like, super enthusiastic teenager with you to, like, who they don't usually get to come out, and it's their first time out, and they just can't quite follow instructions. Like, really bad task orientation. Like, okay.
Yeah, she's very enthusiastic, and but sometimes she's very enthusiastic, but does get the occasional, like, oh, shiny, and go off after a shiny thing. And
yeah, she will also insist on herbing, even if it's like, I can look at a herb and think, okay, well, I don't think I really need that pack, thank you very much. It's like right in the middle of, like, it could be in the middle of, like, 2 nemesis packs, and you're like, okay, well, I'm just gonna leave that looks a bit dangerous. And she'll be like, no, I'll be back in a second. Like, oh no, please don't. Please don't. Yeah. And then it's like, I didn't get any healing. Why didn't I get any healing? Because you were picking a fucking herb. Okay, fine.
Oh, she's special.
She is a bit special.
So yeah, so that's Valera. Delves continue to be some of my favourite content. I really like I'm a fan of most of the new delves. There are a couple of exceptions. I think there's a nice variety. I like that there's slightly sort of out. So you've got like At Alaman, which is like kind of being outside, and that one I like the fact that you never know which bit of that outside area you're going to get to work in, because they've got different setups. You might have to go this side or that side. I really like. I really quite like the collegiate calamity. I like that one where you get the thing where you get the bombs and you're throwing the bombs on all the mobs. So that's quite a nice way to level things up. I really like the Twilight Crypts because I just really like the maze. I really find that fun. All iterations of the maze I find fun. As anybody who listens to us will know, I'm not a fan of the plaza because of the end boss, which is just terrible. And I feel like I'm not the only one, because I feel that's the boss I find the most gravestones around.
Yeah.
I quite regularly rock up and there's like 3 or 4 gravestones around that boss, and I don't normally see that many. So I feel like I can't be the only one. And I understand why they use the dark way, and it's a good way of using some old assets. I think I just find that one a bit not even that I find it dull, I just find it a bit claustrophobic. It's not my favorite one. And the Shadow Guard point is just slightly too large, that one, I think.
Yeah. So each zone has 2 delves. Apart from the Isle of Keldanas that has 1 delve. I do think the Pylian Plaza, which is the Isle of Keldanas delve, that was one of the last one. That was the last one that was added. So I think it's supposed to be a bit of a step up in difficulty. It is well, it's fine apart from the last boss. And the last boss requires interrupts, which I don't have. Or you have to burn down some ads faster than I can burn them down. So in Silver Moon City, there's Collegiate Calamity, which I find a bit irritating, which is a kind of outdoor-ish delve. I find the mob density in there a bit annoying. And then you've got the Dark Way, which is like the opposite. So you've got like one that is like open and outside, sort of located in Silver Moon City. And then the Dark Way is like super claustrophobic and super like weird. Eversong Woods, you have the Shadow Enclave. Do you already have? Is there only one? Is there not another one? Oh no, maybe there isn't, because the one
because they launched with the Shadow Enclave and the Calamity,
right?
So that sort of covered Eversong effectively.
Yeah. Okay. Zulaman, there's a Taliban, and then there's the Twilight Crypts. I really like Twilight Crypts. That might be my favourite. Harandar, there's the Gulf of Memory and the Grudge Pit, which I despise. And then in Voidstorm, there's the Shadow Guard Point and the Sun Killer Sanctum. I don't have strong feelings about most of them. I despise the Grudge Pit. I think it's because it's all in one room. I just don't like it. It's just it feels like it takes ages. And I feel like
certainly
in common with dungeons, there's quite a lot of trash in the delves this time around.
Yeah, I think it depends. So with the Grudge Pit, I think it depends on which story. I certainly think there's one of the stories that goes in there where it just feels like you go through one level of mobs too many. Because I always think, oh, now it's going to be the end boss, and then they're like, no, now you've got to do this tedious thing where you click on these piles individually, and you're like, and I always get to that bit and I'm like, oh, I forgot this one. If it's not that version of the Grudge Pit, then I don't mind it too much. Also, because you can see the Nemesis packs really easily, so I can be like, right, okay. And often you can get your Nemesis packs over and done with quite quickly. So I don't mind that one as much as I did.
I don't know. I just find that being in the same room and having everything coming at you, I just find it really tedious. I just don't enjoy. I don't enjoy it particularly.
I get it.
Most of
I
the
like
others.
the Gulf of Memory has.
Yeah, the Gulf of Memory is all right.
I like that it's got a couple of different ways as well. The first time they wanted me to bounce up and go through the like secret tunnel thing, I was really confused. I'm like, what am I supposed to be doing? And eventually, like, Valera was like, there's a bouncy thing over here, and I'm like, oh, I'd literally walked past the bouncy thing about 5 times going, I don't understand, why is it blocked off? Yeah. So once I worked that out, I was like, oh, okay, this is kind of cool. I like the fact that there are different routes in here.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's nowhere, I mean, apart from, I mean, now I've done the achievements, I'm not going to go back to the plaza unless, like, somebody else needs the achievement and we go in a group. I think that might be the only reason I might go back to the plaza. No, that's the only one I just, but I think every time you get a group of, whether it's dungeons or delves, there's always going to be something you're like, no, absolutely not. It is the underrot of the delves as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I mean, I do think they've met their kind of sort of reason for existence being kind of 15-20 minutes worth of content. Like, I think they've done that quite well. The scaling seems pretty solid this season. I can get through 11s just about at like 255, 257 eye level. So that sort of feels about right. What do we make of Nullius? This season's boss. What do we make of Nullius?
Right, so one, he doesn't seem to turn up quite as often as previous Nemesis boss like seem to have done, and he just seems a bit like he's phoning it in. Because he turns up and I go, oh no, he's turned up. And then I'm like, oh, it's just those 2 like Ravagers that he brings with him. So you sort of burn through those. And he's like in the background going, oh, look at me, I'm the Nemesis boss. And you're like, really? I mean, you're not really doing anything. You're just sort of standing there waving your arms around. He feels a little bit, I mean, he feels, I'm going to say he feels like a little bit like a non-event. Obviously, unless he turns up when you're in the middle of fighting a Nemesis pack and something else that Valera has pulled, and then you're like, oh, for God's sake.
I did get murdered by him the other day, and I didn't even see it was him that killed me. I got like a pack of other stuff in front of me, and maybe it was in a dark way. It was in somewhere that was very dark. And of course he pops up in his purpleness, and I just didn't even see it was him that killed me at first. I was like, what the fuck happened? I thought I had control over this pack, didn't understand what was going on, and then it was like, oh. And then I saw my gravestone, which was like, killed by Nullius, and I was like, oh, okay. Alright, news to me. Thanks very much. So yeah, he can be hard to see.
Yeah. I have killed him on question mark.
Okay.
I have given double question mark a go. I just don't think because I'm doing this on a warlock, I just don't feel even my doggo doesn't have suitable enough interrupts. So I feel like I want to go back and do it with some other people. Because I would like the mount. The mount for doing double question mark is a big silver and blue version of one of those like mechs.
Yeah.
It's a cool looking mount. I would like the mount, but I just feel that room feels a little bit tight, because especially because he does those big like blue swathes of badness that you have to get out of, and the ads put things on the ground. And there's that orb that spins round, and if you hit the orb one-shots you. There's quite a lot going on in quite a small space.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I want to go back with friends to try and do the double question mark. How about yourself?
Yeah, I haven't tried him yet on his own, because I've only just started doing 11s. I'm not that well geared, so I haven't had a go at him yet. But I don't know anything about him. I think we may have mentioned this last week. I just don't feel like there's any, like, he's just the seasonal delve boss, like, and he's a voidy chap who's from Voidstorm. Here he is in his Voidstorm house. Like, okay.
Yeah, he's just a dominar who's like twirling his moustache.
Yeah.
I mean,
I just
He
don't
looks
really.
like a current baddie. Like,
Yeah,
it
exactly.
doesn't seem to be any deeper than that.
No, so we don't sort of. I don't know. Maybe it doesn't need to be any deeper than that. But I was a bit like, oh, wouldn't it be nice to understand why he was trying to kind of kill us? I mean, I guess he's trying to kill us because he's a Dominar. That seems fine. Manny asks in chat, do you solo delves or do you run them in groups? Do you mostly solo them?
I solo them. Just because I'll be like, oh, I'll be, most of the time what happens is I'll be flying around doing some quests and I'm like, oh, delve's here, and I'll go and do a delve, or I need to like fill my bar for the week if I haven't been doing prey or ritual sites or whatever. I've done slightly less delves recently because I've been working on the ritual sites.
Yeah.
At least on my warlock. I would be kind of interested in running them with a group, because I don't know how everything scales up. I've run them with like one other person, but I've never run them with like a full group. So I don't know if that changes the experience or not.
I mean, if you take all of the people, then you don't get Verisa, or Valera, sorry. So that might be an advantage. I
Less
don't know.
butt pulling, less butt pulling. So that might be a good idea.
Yeah, maybe.
So yes, do you do them solo?
Yeah, of course. I hardly do any group content for an MMORPG, apart from the bits that I run. So yeah, I do all of my delving solo. I don't think I've ever done a delve with another person, actually. I quite often do delves at slightly odd times, and I often do them when I'm not feeling particularly sociable. So I'm definitely a solo delver for sure. How do you think this season of delves compares to the sort of War Within delves?
I think it's a good continuation of what they started. I think with the curios, because obviously the curios have been reinvented this time round, I have to say, I do feel like there's only two choices really to make if you want to have something useful. And I think that's the only slightly disappointing thing, is that I just feel like I've collected all the curios, but everybody takes the same two curios because they're powerful. And I mean, it's a bit like talents, isn't it? There's a whole load of talents, but everybody goes and looks up what's the best set of talents for me to have. And I mean, I don't know if you were running delves in groups, if you would change up which talents you take. You know, if you were running them in like a group of 4 and you took one Valera with you, if the group would then change up what talents they took. But everybody I looks at, and every like guide you read says take these 2 curios. There's no point in taking anything else, and you're like, okay, I'll just take those 2. They might as well just give us those 2 curios at this point.
Yeah.
And I think that's the only disappointing thing. I mean, I think the delves themselves, I like the different environments they've given us.
Yeah. I mean, it does.
It's a great way. Yeah, I mean, you're right. It's a great way of getting gear, which is lovely.
Yeah.
But yeah, sometimes it's one of these things where, like, we've given you a choice, but it doesn't really feel like a choice.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I mean, I do think it's a good range of different types of delve, and a good range of different different environments and different types of fight and types of, like, I don't know. There's a sort of variety of things in there. I particularly enjoyed the Twilight Crypts, and they're like pulling all the levers and opening all of the doors and things. That's quite. It feels like you're in Nightmare or something, which is quite good. Talking of TV blasts from the past, like we were earlier on. So that feels quite cool. But yeah, I think it's a reasonable, as you say, reasonable continuation. But I would probably take Bran back over Valera. Even if
maybe Bran can have a conversation with her and just teach her how to not pull.
Yeah, not butt pulling. That would be great.
Packs. But yes, when I was writing the notes up earlier, and it was like, oh, you can tell Valera which pack you're heading towards with the ping system. And I'm like, can you? okay, that is super helpful information, because, like I say, the amount of time she pulls random shit is just terrible. And I love the fact that that you can gear yourself up quite nicely. You can make them as difficult and as hard as you want to, which is great. They're actually quite nice when you're leveling an alt.
Yeah.
Because as you walk in, you pick up the, for most of them, a couple of places you have to go and find it, but most of them, as you walk in, they're like, here's the quest for completing this, and that gives you a huge chunk of XP, which is really nice. So yeah, good news. I'm enjoying them. Would you like to see them add some more tiers onto them? Because obviously they're capped at tier 11 at the moment.
I think they're a right sort of difficulty for me, if I'm honest. Like, a tier 11 is reasonably challenging, but it's not impossible. So that feels like a good space for them to sit in. I think if you want to do much harder content than that, getting it from Mythic Plus isn't terrible. The LFG scene for Mythic Plus seems okay this time round. Like, we didn't end up doing any again this week, but a few weeks ago we did end up pugging some DPS, and we did pug a tank at one point, and actually, like, it seemed fine. So if you want a more, like, I think the more challenging content already exists in WoW. You just need to do it in Mythic Dungeons. I think that's probably fine. What do you think? You think you'd like another couple of levels? Or do you feel like it's set okay?
I think whilst my warlock's now at the point where she can not stroll through an 11, but I'm not sort of like I can still have an oops, but I'm not sort of concentrating as hard as I have to. I think I like that. I mean, maybe 1 or 2 more levels. I wouldn't want to see them ramp it all the way up, because I think people might then start to feel a bit overwhelmed if they couldn't do things at the top end of them. I wouldn't want people to feel like they were being blocked out of content. And currently, if you want something a little bit more challenging, actually that's already available if you do the rituals with all the either in rituals with ritual sites, which is the new thing in this patch. Even if you just do that with 4 challenges up, that comes in on your Great Vault as a tier 13 delve. Right, okay. Effectively, that's what it comes in at. So actually, there is a way, if you want something a bit more challenging, there is something different that you can do. But I wouldn't want people to suddenly feel like this wasn't their content because they couldn't reach the top of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I'm happy with it.
Cool. Shall we hear what Salmis has to say about this topic?
Absolutely.
This is Salmis reporting in for this week's topic, Elven Delvin. I'm just getting around to playing delves for gear. Until now, I've mainly been exploring the local stories in each zone while leveling up some of my alts. I made sure both Salmis and Araith, my Blood Elf Warlock, had completed 2 tier 8 delves, so there's a hero option in each of their vaults this week. I enjoy the activity of delves, and also that they provide a solid progression path. Once I had the gear pieces I needed last expansion, I would often simply complete easy delves to fill out vault slots for upgrade crests each week. Quick, easy, fun, and productive. Delves were amazing when they first came out in the War Within. They continue to be cool now in Midnight. I really like the variety of settings, including using the Archway dungeon map for the Darkway Delve. While I've been to each one, I'm sure I haven't seen all the available stories yet. I think my favorite so far is the Twilight Crypts. I enjoy using the levers to unblock doorways. The Moving Mirrors story in the Shadow Enclave is also a lot of fun. Parhelion Plaza and the Grudge Pit seem to be the smallest maps. I'm always tempted to just pull everything in the Grudge Pit. It's a bad idea, but someday it might be the shortest legacy delve to grind. Collegiate Calamity is the easiest one to get to, and it's a pretty quick one as well. The Gulf of Memory, Shadowguard Point, and Sunkiller Sanctum are the ones I'm least familiar with and look forward to learning about. The sprawling layout of a Talaman makes it my least favorite so far, but the Hexed Frog story does redeem it some. And as we continue to grow more powerful, remember, it goes to 11. Salmis out.
Oh, Salmis. Oh, Salmis.
You know, the only other thing I find a little bit irritating is that Sanctum flag. Because sometimes, have you seen the sanctified flag that sometimes goes up?
Oh, yes. Yes. Sorry, yes, I have.
So it'll announce as you walk in, it'll be like, a flag has spawned,
Yes.
and you're like, great. And then you finish the dungeon, and you're like, well, where
was the flag? Yes.
Where was it? And sometimes you missed it. You genuinely missed it. And it's really easy to miss it if you're at Shadowguard Point, because that place is so large.
Yeah.
There's quite often a whole section I won't bother killing because I've like fulfilled the criteria.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, well, I'll just go and kill the boss. I quite like this boss. And sometimes it's hidden behind, and sometimes it's like it's spawned. Obviously, it's spawned incorrectly. And in fact, I once had a Nemesis pack that spawned below the Sunkiller Sanctum.
Oh.
So they were on, because you know now on your map it'll show you where the Nemesis pack is. There's like a little boss symbol.
Yes.
And I'm like, great. So I got to that point and there was no Nemesis pack, and I'm like, okay, well this place has like layers. So I cleared everything. There was no physical way to get downstairs to where it thought, and it had just spawned the Nemesis pack in the rock, and I'm like, great. So I finished. So obviously I didn't get the full rewards for killing the Nemesis packs because I physically couldn't get. And sometimes I find. So sometimes the flag is just hidden. Sometimes it says it spawns. It's not there.
And it's not
genuinely isn't there.
Yep.
And that's so that's something, you know, that level of bug is disappointing, especially when you're, you know, I mean, I know there's sometimes that's only a little bit of a reward, but still. Occasionally that flag, when you click on it, it spawns like another Nemesis style boss, so you get a slightly better reward, and then I always feel like I've just been a little bit cheated out of a reward.
Yeah, that's frustrating, and that didn't happen for the Flicker Gates, which were the kind of equivalent thing last year, or last cycle. Bit frustrating. I mean, in general, the QA has been a bit frustrating. I don't think that's news to anyone.
Yeah.
Queen Smedry says, I love delves. They are the main reason why I keep coming back after Housing Shine wore off. Randos in dungeons have always sucked for me. I was a healer before the Void Storm, and you cannot heal stupid as much as I would like. Oh, preach it, man. Since delves are me, myself, and an NPC that I can only slightly alter, I love them. I love how they aren't just, see that, kill it, like most dungeons, because, wow, there's a lot of trash in these. They have different goals and different mechanics, and I love how varied even the same delves can be. The one where you can fly around, and how kick-ass is the mirror one. I recently had an epiphany when it came to me exactly how varied WoW can be. Short of really messing with your settings, all the things that aren't combat boil down to click that, see an interactable, click that, loot a monster, click that, solve a puzzle, click that in a specific order. Yet I only noticed it in the Harandar Delve when you just click candles. Something about Harandar, man. It's not for me. I can't bring myself to spend several hours in LFR raid as a tank, or worse, as a healer. I thought I'd hit an eye level cap and be forced into higher tier content, but with the Catalyst and the Void Forge, I'm at 267, which is basically max for me since I don't really need 267 plus for housing and delves. The closest time waster in delves was when I accidentally hit the big frog, and he's got a mountain of health I had to chew through. Yeah, don't do that. Which frankly,
don't touch the frog.
I deserve for hitting such a good frog that was just carrying his friends around. They were cursed villagers I was looking for, but to him they were his friends. I forgot to talk about who? Valero? Who's that? Oh, the invisible lady that's always throwing mats at me. She had some personality in those two little quests when we freed some cult defectors. However, once I beat Nilius the first time and that Reno Jackson quest got literally no real resolution, she faded into the background. I've only recently got annoyed at the voice actress's delivery of the entrails line. That's mostly because she's throwing a lot of accent on one of those words than she needs to, and I'm not even going to attempt to spell it. Yeah, you found your #1 Delves fan. Sorry for the rant, but every time they announce a new raid, I wish it was a Delve. Oh, Queen Smedry, you can absolutely be our #1 Delves fan. I'm glad it's such good content, and I do think it is good content if you don't want to have top level gear and you want to play solo content. It's great.
Yeah, and you just want to be able to go out and just like kill the things. Like, it's really fun being able to run around and just kill the rares I want to kill, or help other people kill rares if they can't quite burn them down. You know, just you feel powerful enough that if you see somebody needs some help, you can help them, and that's great. I like that. Ams says, I've had quite a journey with Delves. I absolutely loved them when they launched back in The War Within, when they truly felt casual as an alternative to questing. They were pitched as casual, and I loved the idea that they weren't crazy intense. Later, having mobs that can come close to or fully one-shot you on a repeating spam cast, I'm thinking of those ascended spider humanoids, was not fun in the higher tiers, and so to me they screwed around with solo difficulty balance to pander to groups, when it was never supposed to be group content. So I was annoyed, and they ramped them up too hard at the higher tiers if you weren't a tank, and so I just didn't bother with them after a while. They didn't feel fun, and it was too much instant punishment and too much for my RSI. It didn't feel casual at all. So in The War Within, I think I did 0 tier 9s to 11s. I very occasionally did a tier 8, and I only really did some to get my belt upgraded and my mount, and even that was in the last few weeks. Even then, I ran mostly on a tier 1. In Midnight, though, I've enjoyed them more than I expected. While they still don't feel catered to casual players, they feel better balanced because of the add-on purge. I can fairly easily handle a tier 11 when on my Shadow Priest, so I've enjoyed them a lot. But they do take a toll on my wrist RSI, so it's not something I run all the time, but I might do 2 to 4 a week if I have the time and my wrist isn't crazy painful. Earlier today I did a Plaza tier 11 and it didn't feel impossible. I just need Gulf of Memories and I'll have done all on a tier 11. I'm not in the alt headspace at the moment with Pocopia, but it's dropping Warbound champion gear for me already, so it's been designed better in my mind this time round. I like some better than others. I personally prefer the smaller spaces like the maze one, where it's easy to find all of the Valeria XP pickups, but mobs aren't on top of each other. I'm not a fan of the ones that are huge, and you might see 1 to 3 XP things if you really, really look.
Yeah, I do think the big ones are a bit of a problem. Like, if there's too many options, I think it's a bit annoying. So yeah, I think the smaller ones, the more compact ones, are more fun.
Yeah, and something that hasn't been dropping, like they drop a little bit, but they haven't been dropping quite as often as they dropped in The War Within, are the on-use items that can highlight where the little bags are.
Yeah.
Like, a few of those have dropped, but they don't seem to have been dropping as frequently as they were in the War Within.
Yeah. I think in general the Delve-specific items haven't been dropping as frequently. I don't have a load of stuff in my bag that I'm like, what is that? Oh, it's a thing for Delves. Like, I don't have that experience at the moment.
I think I would disagree that they are not catered to casual players. I think the very fact that you can scale them from 1 to 11 does make them casual friendly. You can literally make it as difficult or as hard as you're able to manage. I'm not quite sure how else you could make it more friendly to casual players than giving you that much scale of that much option in scaling.
Nigel says, as a player who's had to go for a long time without a guild or community and is often busy at times when people are doing things, I really like Delves, allowing me to progress solo and save the group content for when I can do it. Plus, I prefer to take my own time on things, so never really clicked with the Mythic Plus system. Yeah, it is nice that you don't have a timer, that you can just do it however you want it.
Marie says, I like delves, certainly more than follower dungeons. They're short solo content, and I like the exploration aspect, finding XP bags and the one-time treasures. I could do without Valera pulling mobs I want to sneak past. No, bagged rogue. Yeah, in fact, Marie, she should be totally in tune with you because you're a Kit Kat, so you'll be stealthing, so she should just stealth with you.
Stealth with
terrible.
you. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm happy I can get the 3 void thingies each week from Bountiful Delves, and I love that they enable me to actually benefit from the vault, which in the past expansions was just not available to me in any meaningful way. And Marie says in chat she stops at tier 4, so she now access bountifuls. I mean, yeah. Like the fact that you can get your bountiful chests at tier 4 is great. Like leveling, you can probably get, most people can probably do tier 3, so actually tier 4 isn't a huge step up.
No, not at all. Stilgar says, Delves are great fun. The variety in Delves this time around is really good. From the one pit at Harindar to the maze-like ones and the vast open areas, it keeps it fresh. That being said, I'm trying to find the golden banner in some of the open ones. It's a day job in itself, and I sometimes feel like it doesn't spawn. That's because it doesn't spawn. I do wish the higher tiers would be more than stuff hits harder and has more XP. Seeing the ritual sites, I really hope they can lend a bit of that to spice up the difficulty instead of, oh, I hope you have enough cooldowns to survive this. Valera seems weirdly balanced. She's a great tank in DPS spec, and a wet noodle in tank spec. Oh. She's a great DPS and healing spec too. Biggest plus over Bran, her healing stuff always drops 1 on top of you instead of everything in the lava on the floor. My biggest gripe with Delves is the gearing, and that by by that I mean stuff like trinkets, which are nowhere near as good as Raid and Mythic Plus trinkets. I don't expect best in slot, but at least competitive, say B tier, would be nice. Last, more Delves like the Archway one. Reimagined dungeons as Delves is great. Yeah, I haven't tried her in any other spec other than healer, so.
No, I have heard, and when I was writing up earlier, is this the article? Let me scroll up. Yeah, so there's an article posted 1 day ago on Wowhead entitled "Why Valera is a Terrible Tank."
Oh.
So first, I'm going to quote directly from this. First and foremost, as a tank, players would expect Valera to be able to hold threat, preferably on multiple targets. In Delves, it's unlikely to pull individual enemies, so Valera is only holding threat on 1 mob is a huge hindrance. Oh yeah, that's terrible.
Wow.
In addition to not holding threat on multiple enemies, her DPS role seems better at holding threat overall. Oh dear.
Oh dear.
And it also looks like she loses health. When she loses 25% of her health, an agony NPC will spawn, and defeating this NPC will heal Valera for 8% of her max health. In theory, this seems like a great way to keep your tank up, but in reality, these agony NPCs take too long to kill for just an 8% heal. Oh my gosh. In conclusion, everything she can do in her tank role, she does better in her DPS role.
Oh dear. We will not be getting no rogue DPS spec soon. So rogue tank spec soon then. No? Okay. Oh dear.
Yeah, so that article was on Wowhead by Popular to Topular, posted a day ago if you want to go and read the full thing. But no, apparently, and I had heard that I'd heard a lot of things about her being bad as a tank. So yeah, just take her as deeps or heals, it seems. I'm not sure. Yeah, I suppose even if you're normally a healer, take her as DPS. It sounds like you'll be better off than taking her. Bless her. Pastor Matt says, I love the Delves. It and housing are basically my end game. Out of the Midnight Delves, the only one I hate actually, is the Plaza. My Warlock and Mage are trying to figure out how to open a giant portal to hell underneath it. I will help you. I will help.
We'll all help.
I've liked Valera since she was first introduced in Wrath. Excuse me. Sorry, I had to cough. I hope that they don't fuck up her character like they have with so many of my other favourites like Alira, Sylvanas, King Varian, etc. She's had her problems at launch, but they seem to have hot-fixed them. I'm very much looking forward to Labyrinths. Ah, yes. Seems like a great way to spend a Sunday afternoon. Yes, Labyrinths. I'd forgotten that Labyrinths were coming, which are going to be like these sprawling delves that you can like work your way through. I'm still looking forward to those.
Yeah,
but I
we'll
wonder
see.
if those are going to be sort of more. Well, it'll be interesting to see if those are as fun on your own, or if actually they're more fun with a group, because they're so sprawling.
Yeah. Corin Wolf says, Delves are perfect content. Solo group, shield-slinging lunatic trying to see if 3 Nemesis and a Silver Rare on an 11 at the same time is survivable. Brackets, yes, but cooldowns, all of them. I've reached the point where Little Miss Stabby is being used in Stabby mode and not as heal support for Wolf. Though the squishies are still very grateful for her lobbing of red blobs around the place. The only wrinkle is that she can be a bit enthusiastic when it comes to mobs needing attention. I suspect they use the Hunter AI model from Follower Dungeons. More delves. Yes, the Hunter AI in the Follower Dungeon is quite something. That Hunter is wild.
The only thing I haven't yet seen that hunter do is like disengage off the side of something, but I wouldn't be surprised.
I mean, exactly. It wouldn't make me jump if it happened.
Finally, Trey says, I'm starting to like them now they aren't like the War Within delves, which felt like you had to do them to get anything out of the story. This expansion delves they're generally fun and not annoying. Even more now they've fixed Valeria's lines.
Yes, they have mostly fixed her lines for sure. I think it is better. So, yeah, overall, 2 thumbs up for delves. Everybody loves a delve. We'll talk about ritual sites and labyrinths and things as the sort of progression on from delves in a later episode. But for the moment, 2 thumbs up for delves from the GGW community. Very good.
Well, if you're enjoying the show, perhaps you could give us a like or post a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you're listening. We're hoping to try and grow our audience a bit this year, so we'd love you to help us reach out to new people. We'd also love you to join our Discord channel over at bit.ly/ggw-discord. You can watch our live show on Sundays at 8 PM London time or midday Pacific over at twitch.tv/silkyraven.
Right, now we're going to nip over to our ongoing little radio play, the Cassunda Chronicles. In the last episode of the Cassunda Chronicles, Cass had started to follow up on a lead and a potential cloaks operation in Stormwind. So let's see what happens next.
The Cassunda Chronicles, Dogwork, Part 2. Greetings and salutations, my friends, 'tis I, Cassunda. I have sat down with members of SI7 and collaborated information across. And usually they are deferring to me on this one. Apparently I'm an expert on cloaks operations. They didn't even know they existed till recently. It was me that brought them to the front. They are going to help lend me information sources and resources of other kinds. They will help with the investigation and follow my lead. I think I used to work with them and I was one of their resources. It's quite a change, really. But we are also being very careful. Information coming from within their organisation. Sorry, my brain is all over the place at the moment. This could be a trap. They could be feeding us the information to get me into a place where they can get me. I'm not saying they'd do it, but let's be honest, it's something I'll do, so I have to take into account that they might do it as well. So we're being careful. I am, at the moment, patrolling the docks. But I'm not on the ground. I'm leaving that to the SA7 operatives and informants. I'm saying to rooftops, crane tops, trees. Whenever there are meetings being held, in secret, in a lot of places, not just for this situation, they'll meet in dark alleys, they'll meet in quiet back rooms. But when they're meeting in alleyways, they don't, well, they'll look one side of an alley, they'll look the other, make sure no one's coming. It's very rare anyone ever thinks to look up. So I'm taking that to my advantage. My small stature, I know I am big of heart, but small of body. And my proliferation for dealing within the shadows. This is my advantage. I've already spotted 2 or 3 potential avenues. Pairs of humans meeting with others. Now, this could be something entirely different, but I am passing this information on to SA7 to be investigated. It could just be the criminal network. I have had a chat with my colleagues of the profession that are based in Stormwind, and they have let me know of large-scale operations they may have that are nothing to do with the cloaks that I can pretend I didn't see, shall we say. In return for this, they're also helping. After all, quite a few members of my profession aren't human. And, well, Stormwind's a lucrative area for certain activities. And, well, if humans take control, the non-human members of my profession aren't going to have much work, are they? So they are more than happy to work with me, or at least work alongside me. So we have plans in place. SA7. The shadowy workers. I've even made use of another group that I am acquainted with. How do I put this? The oldest profession? They work the docks. When the sailors come off the ships, they seek companionship. It's amazing how many of those ladies and gentlemen hear things they're not supposed to, but are ignored because, well, they're just part of the furniture, aren't they? Many of those are information sources for my friends of the fellow profession, and for SA7, and me. They're also keeping an ear out. The one thing that surprises me is it's amazing how many of the humans, even though they think they are superior, if the cloaks, I do mean, of course, not others of those of you are human that I know are perfectly sensible and very trustworthy, they still seem to like non-humans for companionship. In the case of at least one of them, I heard 2 of the humans talking and passed it on very quickly. Hence one of the avenues of investigation. Which is why I'm sat where I am now, waiting above a very dark alley for a meeting that's due to take place. I'll tell you what happens, my friends. Until then, I'll be seeing you.
Well, I'm sure those sailors, when they get off their ships, just want a nice cup of tea and a biscuit. I'm sure that's what those ladies do.
Cup of tea and a bicky. That's definitely. And they might need some, like some of their sailor uniforms might need some seamstressing.
Yes,
what's going on.
yes, exactly. Cup of tea and a biscuit whilst your uniform is being repaired. Of course.
Absolutely.
EJ, gaming this week, how has it been?
Good. I feel like I've had a productive week. What have I done this week? So I have. What have I done this week? No, I do know what I've done. You know, I know I've had a good week.
Like, how many shows have we done now? How often do we get to this section of the show?
I know. You know, my brain is just. I was busy thinking about seamstresses. That's
okay.
That's Cassunda. Just like Cassunda had derailed me.
Right.
So I have. I finally managed to get my druid to 90.
Very good.
Which felt like. It just felt like hard work. I'm not enjoying how balanced druid plays at the moment. And when I finished with her, I was like, okay, I need to do something else. And I was looking at my list of characters that I do want to level, and I was like, okay, let's take the hunter out. It's not her fault that Blizzard have done what they've done.
No.
Let's take her out. She's very pretty, and I took her out. And since so I took her out briefly last night when I finished with the druid, and then I played a couple of hours today, and she's already 85.
Okay.
She is. I'm just having a really nice time. I've got over the fact that they've got it. I mean, there are still several occasions where I'm like, why don't I have multi-shot? Give me back multi-shot.
Yes. Yes.
But she, her and Spooncat are having a great time. I went and tamed myself a new cat friend. So Spooncat is now going out. Have you seen the beautiful cat lynx creature that's in Harrendar that's got two tails? It's sort of white and black, and it's got the two tails.
Yes.
The rare that's up on the mountain. I managed to tame that today, which was hilarious because when it spawns, it's all curled up like it's having a nap. So as I started the tame, it sort of floated across the hillside, still all curled up.
Oh,
and I was like,
okay.
I'm doing such a gentle, quiet taming.
Yes,
it's
very
just
gentle
like,
taming. It hasn't even woken up.
Didn't even wake up. Didn't wake up until I tamed it, and then it was like, hello. Oh, are we friends now? And I'm like, yes, we're friends now. I was like, okay. And I've named it Sophie, so Spoon and Sophie now come out with me on my hunter.
Very nice. Very enough.
Which is very, very pleasing. So I've and then I realised at some point Spoon had got respect and wasn't in tank spec, which was explaining why I was having to throw quite so much healing into Spoon. So I went to a stable master and sorted that out. Which is very pleasing that you can just sort of do that at the stable master. So no, she's having a lovely time. Like it's just been no effort to get her to 85. So that's nice. Oh, Banian says the rare Stumpy is also an easy tame. His first attack never reaches you and leaves him primed for taming. Oh, lovely. Thank you, Banian. That will explain. I was in the bank and there was a hunter in the bank with what Stumpy must look like when he's been tamed, and I was in the bank and I was like, what is that model? It seems really familiar, but wow, how has somebody got that model? It must have been Stumpy. Brilliant. Thanks, Bonian. So yeah, no, having a nice time. And then she was out of rested and I'd run out of like all the world quests, because that's how I'm leveling these ones now. I sort of do world quests, and I do delves. That's how I'm leveling things currently. And so I took my shaman out, and I was like, ugh. And I just put the one button assistant on. I was just like, I don't have the brain space for working out what they've done with I don't think they've done a lot, but my brain was like, I can't deal with this.
Oh, that's fair enough.
It was quite pleasant. It was sort of using spells I wouldn't use very often, and I was like,
oh, that one's pretty.
Well, it was using, there was something it was using, and all the shaman just like shake your heads at me. I don't know what it's called. It was using something that I don't think I've used very, very often, and I'm like, okay, is this one of these occasions? What I find sometimes with one button assistant is that sometimes they've added something into the mix that a person who was playing normally would only use in very specific circumstances, but Blizzard have just added it into the mix, and so you're using it every 2 seconds, and you're like, not sure that was really a relevant point, but hey, it was the next thing on the list, so that's fine. Okay. I find it quite interesting sometimes. If you put it on, especially if you put it on with a class that you know quite well, I find it quite interesting what Blizzard have included in the rotation, and you're like, are you sure about that? I'm not sure I would use that, but hey ho.
I mean, I think Blizzard would in general like us to use more of our spells than we probably, than the min-maxers probably tell us we need to be using. So I think maybe Blizzard are like, no, we did make this spell, here it is. Like, it would be nice if you used it occasionally. Is it an enhancement chamois or an elemental chamois? I can never remember.
No, it's elemental.
Elemental chamois, yeah, I thought so.
Yeah. So, no, I briefly once tried an elemental shaman, and I didn't like it, so I ran away and did the sensible thing and turned her back into elemental.
Yeah.
So yeah, and then once those two are leveled, that'll be the ones that I normally sort of vaguely care about. Everybody else will get leveled, but I think I'll probably wait for one of the various types of events that Blizzard brings along. That sort of gives you like very, very quick leveling.
Yes.
Mortal Skull. We actually QA'd that spell. Please use it. I mean, that's very much the impression I get when things like that come up on the one button.
Yes.
So yeah. No. So that's it. I've done all of the achievements that I can do in the ritual sites without going in a group. So at some point, I need to do one of each of those with at least with at least 2 other people. It has to be in a group of at least 3 or more to get those achievements done. I have completely failed to go back and do any more diving. I think I've only got 1 or 2 achievements left to do with the Dave the Diver thing.
The Abyssal Anglers.
But Dave the Diver thing. We all know what it is. I even know what it is
You
now.
even know what it is now. Yeah.
I even know what it is now. So, but the good thing is that's something that's just going to sit there forever. So that's the sort of thing. If I'm watching a Let's Play, that's the sort of thing I'll do on the other screen to keep up with it. So no, I'm having a nice time. I'm sort of feeling like more things are getting ticked off. So it feels like my list of stuff, all my renowns have ticked off. So the only thing I'm still doing, I've got two lots of party goers that I still have to make my besties. But actually today I completed my Delver's journey.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah, that was very exciting. I wasn't expecting that. All of a sudden I handed something in and they're like, ting, you've completed your Delver's journey. So I must go and see what that means. Oh, I think it means I can get a special new Hearthstone, I think.
Something like that.
And I think it means that other special things will now drop. I have to go and it's interesting how you fill the bar, but then I haven't always read what it means that it's gifted me.
Yeah.
So that's what I actually have to do now. A prey. So I did quite a lot of prey. So I've done enough prey that I've leveled. I've completely dinged on my prey journey. Which now means that once a week, each character can go to Astalor and say, hello, I would like to kill this mob in this zone on this difficulty. So if you're trying to fill out the achievements for killing everything on every difficulty,
and Astalor will just dial it into his little predator little fucking Hunger Games panel. You can I'll arrange for that person to be in this place so you can murder them. Yeah, totally, that's fine.
And he will absolutely do that for you. So the 2 nightmare ones that I hadn't met before, they're both spellcasters, and they both have a time warped pyroblast. Was it pyroblast? Something. And I'm like, oh no, I don't think so. Throwing a pyroblast at me anyway, I'm not happy for. A time warped one, absolutely not. I think Simon might have been giggling while I was yelling at these particular 2 mobs I hadn't encountered before. So I've still got a couple more of the prey achievements to finish to get all of my statues, because I need them for my statue trophy case in my house.
Yeah.
Which means I might almost be at the point where I might be able to do some more stuff on my house.
Do some decorating.
Yeah, exactly. I feel I haven't really had space to do housing. That's another reason why I'd like them to slow down ever so slightly. Like, I haven't had a chance to go back and do stuff in my house. How about yourself?
Very little World of Warcraft this week. It's been a pretty full-on week for other reasons. We did some Blades in the Dark on Monday, so we are getting to grips with the new game system. That's only our second session of Blades in the Dark. I need to watch some videos and do some reading. It's still a very new system to me, but we've started our first score. We're about halfway through it at the moment, so that's exciting. Then Thursday we did a little raid content. We had slightly smaller numbers for this raid, so we've just got the 2 in the March of Keldanas to do on normal, and so we went into Poke at the Burb. And I think we made lots of useful progress learning how the dance works and trying to work out where to drop things and where not to drop things and who needs to touch things and not touch things. But we weren't quite able to get it out. I think we got reasonably close. But we just couldn't quite, it's difficult to tell because it respawns. It's not like it's got several health bars.
We got to the egg. We certainly got into the 30s twice.
Yeah, we got into the 30s twice, I think. So, so we made a lot of good progress, but didn't quite get it down. And then we had got a few people who just weren't at their best or even weren't present. So hopefully next week we will be able to tick that off. And then we'll be up on Lura. And then other than that, we went to LFG yesterday. So I didn't play any Warcraft yesterday because I was doing a different thing with Warcraft yesterday. And other than that, I've just mostly been working. It's been a bit annoying. I've got some complicated stuff going on as ever. And this week is a super busy week, and then I'm away for a week. So not likely to get huge amounts of Warcraft in over the next couple of weeks, unfortunately, which is kind of irritating. But never mind. Let's hear how everybody else has been getting on to round out the show, and let's start with Salmis.
Hello, Raven and EJ. This is Salmis, the alchemical rogue, reporting in for my week in WoW. Friends and family runs have been slow due to the real lives of guild members. I helped a family member find the quest to learn dark iron bar smelting. Now she's off to farm up ore and craft a bunch of decor. I was able to hang out and voice chat with Ritual Healing this week as they swore at the seat of the Triumvirate and Magister's Terrace. After I leveled my Mistweaver Monk to 90, I checked out the Void Strikes and Ritual Sites. Ritual Sites looked like they could be a lot of fun. Void Strikes aren't bad, but the communal bar to reach a Void Incursion fills way too slowly. It feels like I could spend a couple of hours chasing the strikes and never see the incursion come to fruition, which is a little frustrating. I hope they adjust that progress soon. Thank you all. Salma's out.
Yeah, that can be really, really, really irritating. I was sitting in Eversong, not this week, but the week before, and it was like, oh, you are 90% of the way to the bar, and I was like, oh, okay, so I just need to do a party. So by the time I finish doing a party, probably that'll be cooked, because it's 90% of the way. Well, I finished doing a party, and I did all of the party things, and it had got from like 90 to about 92, and I was like, okay. So then I went and did some, and that included doing the rituals, not the ritual site, what's the things you do for the party? The
rune stone.
The rune stones. There you go. That thing. How did you not get it from that
the
thing?
Rune stone.
Rune stones. Rune stones. So we did it. Yeah. So then that included doing one of those almost entirely on my own, because there was like nobody else around. Somebody did turn up and help me with the final boss, which is good because I couldn't have soloed it. And then, so it got to like 92, and I was like, okay, well, maybe I'll just do another Void Incursion. And then there was like loads of people doing the like Void Incursion, like, or doing the little ones. And it took about another hour to get the last 10%. It was like, fucking hell. And then they're not that fun when they turn up, to be honest, the void incursions. I don't think they're all that.
It's some of those events seem to go really quickly and fill the bar really quickly, and some of them there doesn't seem to be any rhyme or reason as to how quick or slow it goes. It's really, I find it very confusing.
It did seem quite confusing. Right, let's hear what everybody else has been up to. Julie has been working on her house, which has been an absolute joy. Oh, good.
Stuff. Queen Smedry hit eye level 267 on her main, so basically a cap for the content she enjoys. She completed the Delve Lore Master achievement and then decided to do something stupid by playing through Legion to get all of the class-specific decor for her Demon Hunter.
Wow.
She's now halfway through the first zone.
Oh my god.
I mean, at least that questing,
that questing's really good. Yeah, that questing is really, really good. Rack loved my idea of being able to opt out of seeing map notifications for things that don't interest them, but would take it a step further and introduce a pop-up when you log in that lists the content you could do, and you have to checkbox opt-in for the ones you want to see. Additionally, you would be able to choose how often the checkboxes are shown, daily, weekly, monthly, etc. I think this is a great idea. I think every, once a month, I just want to set the items that I want to see, and yeah, just have somewhere that you can go to change it. It'd be amazing.
Yeah, you know when you log somebody in and there's been a new patch and you get that little splash
you get a little
window
splash
that's
window. Yeah.
Here's the new content. There could also be an addendum to it. It's like, and are you interested in any of this?
Here's our little menu. What items of this little menu would you like to be able to see? And if I say I don't want to see world quests, I literally don't want to see world quests. I don't want them on my map. I don't want to fly into them and have them pop up talking heads all over the place. I don't want to see them. Thank you very much. All of these people that are shouting about all of the important things they're shouting about can stop shouting at me when I'm flying around. It's very alarming to suddenly have people shouting in my head. Yes.
Marie's WoW task list is down to once a week items, so she's been able to pop out into Pharaoh to finish the last few missions.
Pastor Matt finished D4 and thought it was a great expansion. They loved the story and the systems changes, and it brought a tear to their eyes a couple of times. They did a few profession chores in WoW and started playing Warcraft 2 Remastered, which Blizzard have done a good job on. They hope that when they finish that, they'll be in the mood for more WoW.
Amps has had a productive week, got all the base renown tracks up to 20, so it's just the soiree reps to go. He found the last 6 moths he needed for his Dust Lord title.
Very good.
And he also got the brilliant Petal Wing mount for completing the Light Up the Night meta. So his weekly list of things to do is shrinking. So next up will be ritual sites and maybe the diving event.
Very good. Corin Wolf's raid team got the tic-tac-toe boss down on heroic. Congrats. Nice. And then had a poke at the big bear, but they need more DPS. Oh, grats.
Trey helped his wife level up her Delve tiers and also used Delves to level his Alliance Paladin. Bang on theme this week, Trey.
Yes, very good, very good. Well, I'm glad everybody's having a productive week in game. That is going to do us for this week. If you want to get in touch with us, the best place to find us is on Discord at bit.ly/ggw-discord. We'd also love it if you drop us a follow over on Blue Sky at GGW Show, or subscribe to us on YouTube at GGW Show. Remember, if you've enjoyed the show, drop a like or a follow or a little review on the platform of your choice to help other people find it.
Next week, kill for me! It's time to talk about the prey system, and what is Astalor really up to?
Well, we will find out next week, or we won't. Let's see. Thanks very much, everyone. We will speak to you in 7 days. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.